Hey guys, Leslie here, and today we're back from a YouTube video. Today we're going to be talking about Vegeta from Dragon Ball Super versus Thor Odinson from Marvel Comics. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to dislike and subscribe. I know I already have, went through Vegeta and Thor in their own separate videos, more namely Vegeta versus Shadow and Thor versus Shazam. However, I'm not the proudest of those researchers and of the research in those videos. The Vegeta one wasn't that bad, but Thor versus Shazam really was. So I'm here to rectify those mistakes at least. And yeah, let's just get right into the video. For strength attack potency, there's a fair bit that could put Thor at universal. For example, he was capable of fighting a beast that was stated possibly infinitely long, and also capable of lifting a book that contained infinite pages. And when two Thors fought against each other, it created energy off the level of a big bang. There's also durability feats that also put him around this level, so I'll get to that when we talk about the durability, but I digress. He also has a technique called the God Blast. The God Blast could surpass people like Odin, who is capable of nullifying Surtur's flames, which was going to destroy Yggdrasil. I am butchering that probably, which was stated infinite compared to the 9 realms, which are all infinite individually, which would be a multiversal level feat and possibly even higher depending on how you look at it. As for Vegeta, he of course scales to Goku, who as a Super Saiyan God was capable of shaking the universe with Beerus just with a few punches. This universe is bigger than our own universe, as it not only shook the living universe, it also shook the afterlife, which was stated a universe in size, let alone the fact there's places like the Grand Kai planet that take up large chunks of this afterlife, making them at least multiple galaxies inside. And Goku absorbed this power into his base form, meaning that he can then go Super Saiyan God on top of this, and Vegeta should scale to that. As a Super Saiyan Blue, he's 50 times more powerful than this universe-busting, on top of universe-busting feat. And when Goku went Ultra Instinct Omen for the first time, he was capable of shaking the world of Void, a realm that was stated to have infinite nothingness, no time or space, and, Goku was just capable of shaking it. And at this point, Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta was surpassed Ultra Instinct Omen Goku. Of course, Ultra Instinct Goku and Goku got stronger as the tournament goes on, so this didn't stay permanent, but it's important to note that Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta surpassed that version of Goku. And so then Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta would then scale to this feat, and Super Saiyan Blue Evolution was stated on par with Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken times 20 Goku, therefore meaning it's a 20 times increase on top of that feat already. So what does this mean? The fact that it's, an infinite realm would immediately put it universal, but the fact that, it's got zero time or space makes it around a low multiversal feat, since those are the, typical, essentially, things that you would associate with a multiverse. If you have a multiversal or 5th dimensional level feat, you're typically able to do things without space or time being a factor whatsoever. However, the fact that, if it was a case of shaking a realm that was the size of infinite infinities, then yes, that would be definitely a multiversal level feat. However, the fact that it's only a 1, out of 1 infinite, that's not as easy to say. So you could highball Vegeta to multiversal and then 20 times multiversal. However, he's more realistically around the low multiversal ranges. So in terms of pure physical strength, Vegeta is much stronger than Thor. However, when you factor in the God Blast would basically one-shot Vegeta. So yeah, Thor with the God Blast would be more powerful than Vegeta. However, without it, Vegeta would be stronger than Thor. As for speed, and Thor of course scales to the people who could avoid and intercept attacks from his hammer, and of course then Thor scales to that, and Thor was able to throw his hammer so fast it was able to go back in time, therefore giving Thor around infinite levels of speed. Meanwhile for Vegeta, he did a much better job against a suppressed Jiren than Hit did, and was of course able to keep up with this suppressed Jiren. And Jiren, during this state, was capable of surpassing time, according to Vados. And of course, characters like Champa, who's a god of destruction, someone who, might I add, is at least on par, or at least kind of comparable to Beerus in a way. The previous character who he said could shake the universe with Goku while still holding back, couldn't even explain what he was doing whatsoever, which would also give Vegeta infinite speed, so I would argue the speed is a tie here. However, you could even argue that Vegeta's faster, since he done this as a Super Saiyan Blue, and Super Saiyan Blue Evolution, as we said, is around a 20 times increase on Super Saiyan Blue. So yeah, the speed's a tie, but it's much more in Vegeta's favour. As for durability, Thor was able to take an attack that scales to the Big Bang itself. He could also take an attack that could freeze over multiple of the 9 realms, which, as we already stated, were universes in size, aka infinite in size. And he took it without really, much effort being applied. So his durability should scale to around multiple universal to around a low multiversal level. As for Vegeta, on the other hand, he was capable of taking attacks from many opponents that have been much more powerful than him across the series. For example, he's taken hits from the likes of Zarbon, Android 18, Goku Black, Hit, and even Jiren, who are all more powerful than him at the time. Therefore, meaning that Vegeta, you could even argue, is more durable than Thor, scaling from his attack potency. So yeah, durability point here goes to Vegeta. For abilities, weapon, and techniques, Thor of course has the God Blast as we previously mentioned, a blast that is much more powerful than himself to take on much more powerful opponents. He also has weapons like Mjolnir obviously, which is his iconic hammer, and Megingjord, which I've probably butchered, and several weights on him too, which once he takes off can make him more powerful. He also has longevity, he can, heal himself through, the powers of his hammer. He has self-sustenance and magic, he has enhanced senses, he has extra sensory perception. He can amplify his power with Warrior's Madness or Megingjord, I am not saying that again. He has Berserk mode almost with Warrior's Madness, an ability that allows him to become more powerful at the sacrifices of his intelligence. He has Elemental Manipulation, Weather Manipulation, Electricity Manipulation as you might expect, Air Manipulation, Earth Manipulation, Fire Manipulation, Energy Projection. He has like a level of Aura. He has memory manipulation, vibration manipulation. He can attack people with his breath. He has telepathy and telekinesis. He is an expert in hand-to-hand combat. He's a weapons master and can create illusions. He also has astral projection. Has a very limited sound manipulation. He has age manipulation, time stop, soul manipulation, mind manipulation, sealing, and he can seal people away. Mjolnir grants him the power to fly, create force fields, can sense energies from far away, can absorb energies attacks and redirect them. He has vacuum creation, healing of other people as well. He has homing attacks, projectile projection, funnily enough, non-physical interaction, meaning he can attack the soul and things like that. He has BFR, meaning he can travel to other dimensions almost. He can create portals, he can manipulate matter, he has transmutation, antimatter manipulation, power nullification, magnetism manipulation, he has invisibility and intangibility, heat manipulation, teleportation, and summoning. He also has limited holy manipulation, mind manipulation, even bigger sound manipulation, light manipulation, and minor reality warping. He also has dimensional storage too. Thor is resistant to things like acids, diseases, radiations, poison, gamma radiation, and extreme temperatures. He is resistant to electricity himself, and absolute zero and BFR. He has resistance to vibration manipulation, paralysis inducement, and time manipulation. He has resistance to deconstruction, corruption, antimatter manipulation, transmutation, and magic. And he has a very limited resistance to illusions themselves. As for Vegeta, meanwhile, he has attacks such as the Gallic Gun or the Big Bang attack, or the Final Flash, all very powerful attacks in their own right, especially the Final Flash, which is considerably more powerful than Vegeta himself. He has, he can fly, he can sense where people are, he can fire energy blasts and manipulate light as Super Saiyan transformations cause light to appear. He has resistance to soul manipulation or being erased from existence, as he was able to resist the Hakai. He gets stronger with rage and as the battle goes on, however he typically needs to get healed for this to take place. He's a master martial artist as he's been able to go toe-to-toe with Goku. His transformations are as such. He has Super Saiyan, which increases his power by 50 times, Super Saiyan 2, which increases it by 100 times, Super Saiyan God, and we don't really know the exact multiplier for Super Saiyan God. Calculating it out, taking the lowest points of Universal and dividing it by the lowest point of multi-solar system level, which is where Goku and Vegeta would have been at the time of Super Saiyan God, occurring, it would be over a 200 septillion times increase, which may sound a lot, but doesn't really matter when you talk about infinities, obviously. Super Saiyan Blue is 50 times that, so it'd be a 1.34 octillion times increase, and Super Saiyan Blue Evolution is 20 times that, being a 26 octillion times increase of his base form. He also can resist mind control with sheer willpower. He has resistance to extreme temperatures and survived in the vacuum of space. He has enhanced senses as an acrobat and knows the pressure points. He can create explosions, can project fireballs, can create shockwaves and after images, and can mimic other key attacks. He has telekinesis. He has self-destruction, which is an attack which, as it sounds, it kills Vegeta. However, it creates a much bigger explosion than, anything he could ever really produce. He has resistance to radiation and cannot be sensed by mortal beings. He has very low regeneration and resistance to electricity manipulation and empathic manipulation through what happened in the Tournament of Power. He also has resistance to absolute zero and void manipulation and existence erasure, and he has very limited power nullification, or resistance to power nullification. So, in terms of who's more versatile, I think it's clear that Thor is. For who has the better abilities, that's more up in the air, though I am more inclined to say Thor, given the absolute OP things he can do with like time stop, manipulating age, can seal people away. Yeah, Vegeta's Super Saiyan transformations can multiply his power by an extreme amount of times, but, that only does so much. And obviously for better weaponry, that goes to Thor, so Thor takes the weaponry, abilities, and versatility point all in one go here. As for weaknesses, Thor's Megazord, the thing I cannot pronounce, will leave him exhausted, and Warrior's Madness will make him lose all sense of self. Also, he has a tendency to hold back against earthly opponents. As for Vegeta, he's very arrogant and very prideful. If he's overpowered by someone who he considers below him, he can lose his temper, and he also seeks strong opponents, so therefore he will allow his opponents to, reach their full strength for the sake of a good fight, or at least he often does this, so... In terms of what's the worst weakness, it's probably Thor, considering, how, Megazord could take a toll on his stamina, and how, he can lose a sense of self with Warrior's Madness. However, Vegeta letting his opponents, power up is quite dumb. However, he has gotten better with this across the series, so I would argue that, Thor is more vulnerable than Vegeta. So who wins the fight? We've gathered from this that Thor is more powerful with the God Blast. He's also got better abilities, is far more versatile, has better weaponry. Meanwhile, Vegeta is more powerful than normal Thor, is possibly faster, is more durable, and is less vulnerable. So who wins the fight? Vegeta could very well win, right? He considering the fact that as a Super Saiyan Blue evolution, he is more than likely faster than Thor, and would therefore, you could argue, could speed blitz Thor from the point of view that he would just be able to damage Thor so much that Thor wouldn't be able to do anything about it. The thing is with that though, while yes, Vegeta's also getting stronger throughout the fight, Thor can also get stronger, through Warrior's Madness and Megazord. Yes, those come with those weaknesses, however, considering how fast they both are, it probably won't even affect the fight that much. There's also the fact that the God Blast would completely eradicate Vegeta, unless you use, the multiversal highball for Vegeta, which I'll get to, after this whole thing here. So, Thor has, a higher chance of winning, in my opinion. Well, yes, Vegeta can resist many of Thor's abilities, such as electricity and being able to stop time, because he has infinite speed. He has many things that Vegeta would not be able to counter whatsoever, such as, say, age manipulation. He also can seal Vegeta away as well, for example, and also given, his ability to create portals, manipulate matter, and he could also redirect many of Vegeta's attacks back onto him. Vegeta could fire a Gallic gun and, Thor could just, pull a no-you card and hit Vegeta with his own attack. So, with that said, I'd say Thor's more likely to win the fight. If you use a highballed multiversal Vegeta, then he would be able to take the God Blast. Meaning that, well, yes, Thor's abilities would definitely be able to put Vegeta, on the back foot. Because Vegeta is so much faster than Thor and, giving a multiversal level Vegeta against Thor, yeah, Vegeta would basically just speed blitz that version of Thor, essentially. Of course, there are other versions of Thor in the comics that are far more powerful than this one. We're just using base Thor along with Mjolnir. You could also make the argument that Vegeta could pick up Mjolnir and use it against him. However, considering Vegeta was literally a villain for most of his series, I'm not too inclined to say that he'd be able to pick it up and use it. So, overall, I would say that Thor would win the fight, especially considering his regeneration is much better than Vegeta's, since Vegeta's is almost negligible. So, yeah, Thor wins the fight. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to dislike and subscribe. The next time trailer you're about to watch was made before I decided that there should be a third character introduced, so the next time trailer only shows 2 characters that will be, used next time. So yeah, I will see you in the next video.